How are we doing, shipmates? So yeah, just get the camera in the right place because it's gonna be quite tricky to see around these tonight. Okay, go for it, painting. That's my phone telling me it's time to start. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are we doing, guys? Hope everyone's had a good week and ready for the weekend ahead. Any bangs, crashes coming from outside? I think the local school's got a firework display on, so I think it's mostly finished now, hopefully. Okay, so tonight we have got let's see, we've got the 100 Years War personality set. Oh, evening, Rich. Yarg. Should we let all the interweb catch up? I think we're all set. Right, okay. So tonight's offering we have from Front Rank Miniatures, which is part of Griffin Beast now. These beautiful miniatures. They're 100-Year War personalities. Let's just adjust my lamp a minute. Thought it looked a bit dark down there, sorry. Yeah, so Tim. Have a good look at them before we start. Evening, Nick. Quick look-see. Okay, so this pack is ahoy. Oh, I was saying my computer's being daft. Sorry, chaps, will be a minute. Bear with me, please. Ah, there we go. That's better. They are. So these guys, evening Gary, evening everybody. Okay, so the code for this pack is MPK12. If you want to look it on the Griffin Beast site. Right, let's get the poor French pronunciations over with. Andy was teaching me earlier to say these with a very French accent. But I won't try and do that because I sound like a reject cast member from Hello Hello. So we have in this pack Charles de Albret, Constable of France. You have to really excuse me on these pronunciations. Those Boucicault, Marshal of France, which I know I've messed up. Andy said it so nicely. Guichard, Dauphin, and Charles, Duke of Orleans. Okay. I won't be studying. I won't be saying those names again. And I just call them the French blokes, or yeah, French blokes. So I'm going to crack on. They're quite complicated miniatures with all the freehand, so we'll see how far we get with them. I've got a feeling though that I shall be doing some of these finishing off tomorrow, but if I do, I'll probably flick the camera on. So let's see how we get on anyway. I shall stop Manata and crack on with the painting. Sorry, Jean-Luc. I know you don't. You're not interested in me chatting. You're interested in me painting. I know. Right, so we'll start with a cruddy brush and a gunmetal silver. As normal, I've started with a Xenophore highlight. The light doesn't seem. Don't know if this bulb's going. Could be. That's slightly better. Should be alright on the camera though. Yes, so hope everyone's had a smashing week. Yeah, Nick, they are cracking miniatures, aren't they, these front ranks? But I don't think the company, when the previous owners of front rank were retiring and selling up, I don't think they could have found a better place for the miniatures to end up than Griffin Beast, in fairness. What's up with my chat thing today? I don't know what's going on with the main computer. You've got to keep refreshing it. Cheers, Ben. It took you a week to do the chest of drawers, Julia. Madness, I tell you. Oh God, I know what it is. It's bear with me a sec, guys. Let's do some quick computery fixing stuff, and then I'll be back with you. Maybe a sec, guys. Right, hopefully that's fixed it. Sorry about that, guys. I will That's rubbish, Johnny. You didn't seem too bad the other day. Yeah, so I'm going to lay down as much as this I can tonight. As I said, I've got a nasty suspicion it's going to take another session to get all the freehand done. Ah, yeah, so you're the one with the orange pants. Good. Yeah, so I'd good rummage around these towers in my piratey capacity earlier. See what I could find. They were in very good form today. Ah. So you get some interesting comments tonight then, Jean-Luc. We'll have a disclaimer on Gianluca. So, Ben, you approved of my rubbish French pronunciation. I officially apologise to, well, I'll apologise to the rest of Europe for being. No, won't I? I'm English. God damn it! I won't apologise for. I should have just shouted louder. Everyone would have understood me eventually. That's the English way. Very, very probably. There's the boss guy. Yeah, so what did I get today? Oh, yes. I got... Good. That's good work, Ben. And I think it's I don't think in our schools they start the language early enough, in fairness. And by the time I was at senior school and having to do French, I was very anti it and not very receptive. But since leaving school, I embrace all other languages with great vim. And yeah, when I've worked with people from different countries, I've always tried to learn a bit of the lingo. Because it's interesting. Unfortunately, at the time of they try and introduce it into our schools, I don't think kids are interested in being at school, let alone learning language. Oh, yeah. I mean, pretty much all European countries are above us, I think, on well, certainly in the area I am of learning foreign languages. I think it's the old British Empire thing. Oh, bloody foreigners. Come out here. Useless. You're very useless, Gianluca. Yeah, so what I'm doing now, even the bits I'm going to go over in gold, I'm just going to really blitz over with the gunmetal, because you can cover it up pretty easy. It's quite a good base for the gold. See, I've watered it down a bit with the medium, so it runs on quite good. Oh, Nick, that's just nah, Nick. What was it? Clibanophoroi. Clibanophoroi? Is that close? Do I pass? Clibanophoroi. Quite like the word now. Oh, wow. A Swedish for 18th century drinking song. I bet that's an interesting song. The closest we got was the Hagar the Horrible, the Viking from the Sun newspaper, doing the Skull advert in the 80s. Skull, 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 skull. Why aren't you singing, Eddie? Was it Eddie? Odie? You're psychic, I can't remember. Was it psychic? Isn't it? I don't know the words, Hagar. Yes. Good old 70s British humour. Yes, I believe I'm going on. Oh, I'm not sure actually. There was talk of me going probably on the Sunday, unless the hockey match is a different time, and then I may go on the Saturday. Or I may go both days. Who can tell? But I'll definitely be there at some point, I would have thought. Still waiting for that bad boy. Good evening. You've got a weekend off. You've had a night off practice, have you? It's good to see you, buddy. If things are good. Nice. I really watched Terry Gilliam's Eric the Viking the other day, and decided it possibly could be one of the best Viking saga films I've seen. I I kind of all of a sudden, after it being just a silly, ridiculous Monty Python film when I first watched it, uh, I kind of got what he was trying to do, and it's like I could just imagine it being told round the campfire. You know what I mean? And the ship flew off the edge of the world. Blah 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 blah. And yeah, so I think in true spirit of the sagas and over exaggerations, I think it really does the job. I do wonder if some of the modern attempts at Viking films and are just trying to be too cool. You know, a lot of strong alcohol inside me sat around a campfire. Of course, I'm going to tell all the people who weren't there the ship flew. Yes, love both of them movies, especially Starship Troopers. Don't, as Rich will sort of back me up on that one. With yeah, about what's happening, getting closer as we speak. I've got all the minis done, so it's just a case of the scenery, and we shall have the battle out of Starship Troopers. I was hoping to wait until I'm getting good enough to do in a battle report style, so you guys can see it. Which again, we're working on. With our elite crew of Saga Bat Rep. I'm just going to put a bit of gunmetal over the top of these rivets. I'll probably pick them out again once I've painted the red in there. I think, yes. All has fallen quiet outside. The banging stopped, so. I've got quite a few bugs. I could do a few more, I think, but I was going to do them in when we did the game. I was going to do them in waves. So I think it's the only way the rules can handle it. I was going to use Xenos Rampant, or whatever it is. It was Xenos Rampant. But I decided to swap to Mars Code Aurora, just for the hell of it. I don't think it's going to make much difference, but I like some of the slightly different ideas in it. If it goes well, I'll try both. Oh wow, that's cool. Ah, that's a shame, Rich. I was hoping you'd find another few hundred. Although I saw a company that's doing it all in 3D printed 6mm, or 6 was it 10mm, I think. And I was very tempted, but I thought, oh, then I won't use all those lovely bugs I painted up with the airbrush. And I found a Reaper Bones carrion crawler thing. I thought I'll use that as the brain bug because it looked a bit like the brain bug. Oh yeah, did you guys met up, didn't you? How did it go? I saw your pictures. It looked good. This brush is toast. I think I grabbed the one that I used to put some lacquer on earlier, and the lacquer is finely dried up in there. But luckily, we're just putting the base of the gunmetal on anyway, so we shall endeavour and keep going. That's my big bag from Griffin Beast falling over. Yeah, I haven't seen that Space Wheelers. Is it good? I've heard it mentioned a few times. I looked up the turnip game as well. That looks quite interesting. I guess that's the good work, Ben. I think next we shall put the yeah. There's been some rough old weather, isn't there? So we're going to hit up our barbarian flesh. Not an awful lot of flesh to paint on these. Hmm. Yeah, good stuff. Oh, cheers, Rich. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know Darren and Andy are there, so. I think Martin might be as well, because I think there's a. Oh, right, okay. So I put the flesh onto the wet palette just to. It does thin it out a little bit, John. Um, Also, it keeps it from drying out, mate. But it's very much easier for me to thin it down on there. So I must knuckle down and do the videos I promised you about thinning down with the medium. The main reason I don't put the metallic on there is because if you put it on the wet palette, the metallic just kind of falls apart. It almost like it can't hold the little flakes that are in it and stuff. And it just kind of makes a messy fall apart stuff. Hello, go for it painting. GF IP. That doesn't even work. That's why I usually abbreviate everyone's thing. Sorry. How are we? All right? I saw you were in at the start and stuff. Before I could get the chat room up and running this end. Yes. So what else have we been up to? Oh yeah, I've been trying to do on the social media front. Seems a lot of people are kind of ditching Twitter stroke X, whatever you want to call it, I don't mind. I was told in favour of Blue Sky. So I've been putting the Twitter feeds on there as well. So if anyone's on Blue Sky and they find me on there, so I think eventually I'll drop Twitter eventually. Just look us at Pirate. I think it's Pirate Paints on there as well. I believe so. So yeah, I don't usually bother to put a second layer of flesh on, but I'm going to go quite heavy with the wash on them. So where there's not an awful lot of flesh showing, we'll make it quite strong. Okay. So where do we want to start? So I've got a picture of their coats of arms and stuff. So we're going to need some matte white today. So I want to make these quite striking. So we're going to undercoat some of the colours. First, I want to do the washes. So it's dark tone for the. I think the chainmail should be, yeah. Just checking that, making sure the metallic is dry enough. So we're going to water that down with a bit of medium. So because for the army painter, dark tone is quite strong. Even silver on his feet. So just drop a bit more in there, I think. So I'll come back to him with the wash. Yeah, he's all right. So just, as you see, where I've watered that down, well, thinned it down with the matte medium. You can see it just wants to run into all those grooves. It's all like a yeah. All right, Ben. Who's sharp today? Glued any figures to our hands lately, have we? There used to be an advert when we were kids. Was it Solvite? It was a wallpaper glue, and they used to Solvite somebody to a. They used to stick them to a big board and then pick them up with a helicopter and fly them about, and he'd do the rest of the advert while he's being dangled around underneath this helicopter. One of your relatives, maybe? That was a really long put down. Especially because you've never look it up on YouTube. Not at the moment because you're watching this, but when you get a chance, look at 70s or 80s Solvite ad, UK, whatever. I bet it's on the YouTube. Now that's real sticking yourself to something. Do you remember that one, Johnny? The old Solvite wallpaper paste ad. It's a slap wallpaper paste and chuck the guy against this board, and away he went on a helicopter. It was like the first Everest window, double glazing window adverts, wasn't it? And they used to bounce the wrecking ball off them. Which is important to know that your double glazing will withstand a wrecking ball attack, isn't it? Really, they don't make double glazing like that anymore. What's surprising though is they they made this double glazing in the advert that bounced the wrecking ball off. So how comes when I was a teenager practicing golf in my mum's kitchen, that the golf ball went right through it? Can you explain that? I should have sued them. I should have sued. Yeah, apparently so, Ben. Oh dear. I remember when skateboards first came out as well. My eldest brother got a skateboard for his birthday, and that went through the bottom pane of glass in the front door. Hey, watch this wheelie. All great moments start with, hey, watch this, doesn't it? Hey, watch this. Can you imagine the Battle of Hastings? The archer. Hey, watch this shot. Twang. I reckon there's probably that'd be a good TV series. Hey, watch this. On my coat. Great moments in history. Watch this. That the captain of the Titanic. We can get through that gap. Watch this. Oh dear. I've tangented. I've got help. It's his first can of Monster as well, so we could be in trouble tonight, guys. I can't think of many more politically correct ones, so be careful, guys. Pompeii, innit? What happens if you drop a brick in it? Watch this. Yeah, perhaps we should. I've calmed down again. How good's that? So as you can see, we've a slightly looser wash than full power darting. I've done some armour recently using the strong tone as well. So if you want it sort of that slightly dirty, oily, worn look, use the strong tone instead of the dark tone. And but that's not the look we're going with these guys. Cheers, go for it painting. Or is that another? So greedy gold is the next one. We're going to start with we might have to wait for the black to dry a few places here, so we're gonna lay down a bit of the white. So he's got like this coat is white and blue, so we're gonna go in. Lay I want these to look quite bright, so I'm going to lay a pure matte white down first. And it seems like I'm making extra work here. But I'm then going to go back over it with like a beigey white. Oh, this, yeah, they're it's like a kid's fidget toy. I was going to do a little video. I got some of these to show people. So there's like a little fidget toy, and it's really handy for putting washes and stuff in, because they're made of latex. The paint doesn't stick to them. So once you've finished painting, leave it to dry overnight, and you could just pop the paint out. So it saves any wastage, which is good. And you can mix your paints in it and I put obviously the medium in it and what have you. And it's good for using with dropper bottles where you don't want to put it on a wet palette. Again, I was going to do a short 5-minute video on using it, but I got I've run out of time midweek at the moment. So yes, there we go. So you see, I'm laying down this base white on his whole circuit because I want it to be quite over the top bright. Good evening, Karen. How are we doing? Yeah, if not, if you can't find one, they're like a couple of quid on Amazon or eBay. I think I got on Amazon for about £2. I bought a load a little while back for my missus was working with some autistic kids, and some of them liked that sort of thing. I thought, I wonder if I can put some paint in there. Then I saw, around the same time, I saw, what's his name? It's an American guy. Tabletop Minions or something, I think it is. Yeah, and he'd done a video of that using. I thought, that's good. As long as you keep your paints thin, John Luke. No, you're not going to lose any detail, mate. So I'm thinning the paints out as we go. So, let's just drop some white on there while we're about. Yes, Karen, we've whizzed to the 100 Years' War, Agincourt. These are the Agincourt personality pack from Front Rank Miniatures. And yeah, if you want to hear me badly pronouncing French names, I'm afraid you're going to have to go back to the start of the video because I'm not doing it again. It was awful with it. Yes, I'm not sure. I think we just go straight blue with that one, so that's cool. Yeah. So now we should be up to our gold. Yeah, it's quite a good visit this afternoon to the Griffin Beast. They're very well, very busy, which is good. Not too busy they couldn't make me coffee, which is even better. There we go. So let's just start edging some of these out. I picked up some, because we've obviously been doing some more saga to get the practicing to get the bat reports starting, and I fancied a picked warband because I've painted the picks, but I've never played with them. So after a bruising battle was it last week, the week before, of the last Romans versus the Normans, which was a real crunch, real big crunchy crunch. We used those cataphracts we painted. So yeah, that was a good battle. And then this week's been all Dead Man's Hand Wild West, which is good fun. And I remembered that I'd bought a big wedge of really old metal cowboys and stuff, so I stripped them off and repainted them this week as well, which was kind of neat. That was after the snail, the dwarven warlord wearing. Got to put my teeth back in. The dwarven warlord riding his snail mount. Did everyone see the pictures of that on Facebook? That was that's quite fun paint, that one. That was from Black Scorpion Miniatures. Which in fairness do some cracking miniatures. They also do some orc and goblin pirates, which are quite cool. It's a pretty easy sell to me, isn't it, really? Have I missed any of the chat? I think my chat thing's gone a bit funny tonight, guys. So if you think I'm ignoring you, sorry, I'm not. It's I think the computer's gone a bit weird. Oh, it'll happen, mate. You'll find a bit of space and time. Circumstances change, don't they? In priorities and stuff. It's good to hear from you, mate. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, ain't you? Yeah. Yes, I'm not going to overly rush these to get them done. It's slightly different to our usual let's get it finished in one go thing. Sometimes it's worth just... I think if they're just game, it's just straight gaming miniatures. Crack them, get them on the table. And these are your personality guys. You gotta... People will look at these, so... As I said, I'll get as much as I can done. And maybe do another live one tomorrow night or something. See if I can... I was tempted to start these early, and so I get to the freehandy bit. I think it's nice all starting together so we can see they got like... Don't want to do the Blue Peter, here's one I prepared earlier thing. Oh yeah, I'm really excited about these picks because I've got the pick Warlord with the chariot, and I love doing chariots. Even little tiny chariots on Luke. Here's your 6mm chariots. Also, I got a... They're struggling to get the Dark Age archers through quick enough. Every time they get them in, they sell out. So, but they do a point pack as well. So I've got one of those to do. See how long it takes to do 1 point of the plastic archers to finish. You know what I mean? So what I'll probably do is do a ordinary video and put them together just to time it out, and then do the live paint on them. He's all right. So I'm being quite fussy on these. It's almost because you're going to do a lot of freehand over the top. You want to be a bit fussy underneath to get everything nice and solid. There's nothing worse, I think, than if you're trying to do it at freehand and then you notice that the base coat is rubbish, and you've got to go back and try and patch it in. I think he needs that just over his feet as well. Yeah. Always looks neat in it when you're doing the armour like this. I was looking at a picture of the Maximilian jousting armour, like later than this, but very late jousting armour. It looked amazing. All the etching and stuff on it. Such talent and artwork, isn't it? What are you eating, Jean-Luc? Yes. Just using the edge of the brush there, mate, to drop some edge highlights on. And the dog's being told off downstairs, I think. Yeah. There we go. Oh, this on it. Oh, cracking miniatures. What else did I find out today? I can't really say, to be honest. What you need to do is go to the Griffin Beast site and sign up for their newsletter. That'd probably be the best thing to do. There's lots of exciting stuff going on. know, probably the best way to find out about it. I need to think of a different subject when I think about at the moment because I can't say anything about it, which is very frustrating, but it'd be good. It'd be good, shipmates. Just need to get people to subscribe to this and like this channel, and then all will become clear. I think it stems from a conversation that me and Rich were having at the saga pageant. If you can cast your mind back to that, Rich, but don't say it out loud, please. If you do remember, a lot went on that weekend, so. Paint along the bottom there. It's been really good recently. We've had a lot of new subscribers, which is cool. That number keeps edging up. Is it 788 now? Wait, I can't remember. Do you remember the conversation I was implying? Be interesting. Thought you might. Yeah. All good fun, that's all I can say. It's going to be a good laugh. And it'd be really, really good that the guys at Griffin Beast are going to recognise our small and perfectly formed crew at Pirate Rich Paints, which is nice in a little way. So how's the weather down your way then, Karen? Are you getting battered by the storm? It wasn't too bad down here, to be honest. It's been a bit soggy, a bit windy yesterday. Not too bad. But it's usually amplified somewhat for you, isn't it? Okay. Little flashy bits. Let's get the base colour from the reds down. So I'm going to start with Abomination Gore. I think there's a little tiny bit left in there. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's get rid of that one. So, and here's one I prepared earlier. Really good for our base colour red. So yeah, let's thin it down. I think it's quartered. Yeah, this one's quartered. That's the there we go. Let's start laying in that red. Left quarter is red. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. Got to get your heraldry right, otherwise you'll be off to the gibbet for this pirate. I think I painted these in the... Oh no, I did the mounted versions, I think, for the sword point book. And I think that the new red I've got is not quite mixed up enough. I was a bit impatient with the mixer earlier. So it just needs a little tip more. It's still usable, so. So just starting to lay in that quarter. But it's shook up enough to lay in thin layers, which is good. I think the scabbards are red as well. That's strange. Ah, nice. I was looking at the next picture off. I'm sure I had the sword scabbard, but it's, this guy's got the big. What I've done is I've got the website up for the coats of arms and stuff. I keep checking. It's good to have reference pictures. The internet is so handy now for that. Okay. I believe his armor is red, but I don't think it's quartered. I think it's red. Is it Brigandine or whatever it is? think he's a bit around the bottom of his helmet there. Blue. Bleu. Yeah, so I might do the archers next Friday. The Dark Age 1 point saga. That'll be like a dozen of them. I might prep them up on the Thursday with a video, post that Thursday, and then paint them on the Friday. That sounds like a plan. As if I'm, yeah, pretty sure that'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah, so well, I mentioned Dead Man's Hand. Has everyone seen they got the new Kickstarter out for the 2nd edition one? Which seems to be good value for money. Apparently it's like a 1.5 kind of version rather than a 2. So they've said on the videos, but it's been a fair while out, so probably needs a few updates. Or wouldn't hurt a few updates. It's all right. Yeah, they're coming on quite nice. We're hour and 20 minutes. We're in. He's got a blue scabbard, so we'll bother with that. So it sounds like I might be getting invaded with the dog. They're sneaking up the stairs on us, I think. So probably going to get some snoring dog effects in a minute. No, maybe not. Maybe somebody's just sneaking around. So now I've got the base red there. I think yeah, so I'm just going to go lay another layer of that red in. It was quite thin where I've not shook it up enough. So I'm just going to lay another layer in. There we go, Johnny. So it's, you're not losing any detail because it's like real thin paint. Just strengthening that up a bit. dry down and put a little wash over it. Nice. Wasn't there a Carry On film where they used the name Hengist? Hengist Crump, wasn't it, or something? I think they're using it nice and thin. It's going to sit nicely in between those rivets. We're going to paint the odd one over, but we'll go back and pick them out again anyway. Got behind his shield there. Just lay some in there. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Johnny, you'd have taken it from historical. I was just thinking Hollywood history in it. Well, Pinewood history there. Not even as grand as Hollywood history. Yeah. Yes, so next we're going to grab... What are we going to grab next? Oh. Crusader skin. Oh, a little bit. That's enough of there. So I'm just using some pots up. Waste not, want not. And so we put that layer of flesh in there earlier. And so we'll just lay that. As you see, the speed paint does a lovely job of being a wash. There we go. And we let that dry. That's why I went quite heavy on the base layer of the flesh, sort of heavier than we usually do. So I can go heavier on the wash, and then when I do the highlight, that'll be the face done. Or barring the eyeballs. There we go. So whilst that's drying, I think what we'll do is we're going to lay some flesh wash on that gold so that can start to dry. So it's just going to take the shine off it, but we are going to go back in with a brighter gold just give the give it a bit of depth, a bit of interest in there. A bit of rogue red on that. That's all right, because that's just about where we're going to put the highlight for bright gold on, so that's fine. We can sort that out in a minute. So if we look on like his crown bit around there, so the gold is at the moment, I'm going to load as much as we dare of the flesh wash. If you haven't got the flesh wash, another good alternative, they do a mid brown, which again is probably a little bit rarer than the flesh anyway, but it's got a very ready mix to it. That works well as well. So we've just been over the edges there. Let's knock that in there. So if it runs out of control a little bit, we're not too worried. So we're still going over again with silver and gold to highlight it out. So these ones are the Agincourt personalities set. Vive la France. I should have painted them a little bit muddier, maybe. See, what I've done there is I've grabbed the red wash. That's okay, we'll just take a little bit off. Go back to using our brown. Just mix it in. No harm done. We're using quite a reddy brown with the flesh anyway. Thank you, Rich. See, I told you the other week, didn't I? It's like you're like the first mate of this ship, aren't you? You know what I mean? Making sure that the captain doesn't make an ass of himself. Yeah, should I just get some mud effect, some good old fashioned GW Stirland mud, and just go crazy. Let's not bother painting most of these, let's just smother him in mud. Yeah. I think it's probably a lot. Yeah, but Rich, that was more luck than judgment on my. Oh, I'm terrible. I'm all right. If I know the story, I'm not too bad. But as for my memory for dates and battles and names is awful. I was telling them earlier, it's one of the things that always impressed me by John Luke and another couple of our friends, old friend Joe and Dylan. They're all very good And they've all told me stories about different battles. And yeah, I can remember that. But I would forget, but I'm always very impressed that they remember. Hi, Ben. Well, yeah, they're getting there. There's still quite a bit of work to do on these bad boys. Or are you talking about your miniatures? So we're going to go for it with these. We're going to do the freehand in that. But say, I'll probably get to that tomorrow. So I'll probably jump online if I get a chance tomorrow late on. So now I'm playing hockey in the morning. I bet yours are still glued to your arm, aren't they? Just glue them one big lump and just say they're a transformer. Oh, Ben, sorry, I been very cruel there. I've got every faith in you'll get them done because you know what you can do. So these people that you get them done. Yeah, you know what you can do. Oh, it wasn't a red wash. It was the thingy bob. Yeah, Rich, that's a cracker, isn't it? Or if you want to watch Brian Blessed to get inspired, watch the first series of Blackadder. Yes! My paring knife. We thought you're dead, my lord. When we left you, you were facing 100 Turks with just your fruit knife. So let's just drop some red wash on these red areas that we've done. Just to strengthen up our shadows before we start lighting it up. To be honest, probably could have got away without this, but we're working these, so hey. And the wash does work exceedingly well with that dark red. Just give a nice base. I was reading an interview with Brian Bless. I don't know what show it was on. It was after he'd done Flash Gordon, and he was telling the story of this scene where the Birdmen are diving on the spaceship Ajax. Yeah. First wave, dive! Who wants to live that bit? Yeah, we all know it. Anyhow, they shot it first, and yeah, as Brian Blessed was being lowered, because obviously they had a big mock up of the ship, and they had Brian Blessed on a wire, a lot with the lot of the other Birdmen guys, and they were lowering them down. So they were actually well, flying down to attack the ship, and they've started shooting this very complicated scene with flyers going everywhere, etc., etc., etc. And they had to reshoot it because when they come to Brian Blessed diving, he was making his own laser sounds. So he's shooting when he was tending to shoot people, he was going pew pew pew, making funny sounds, and they had to stop shooting and say, "It's okay, Brian. We put the sound effects on afterwards. You don't have to do them." That's brilliant. Just imagine Brian Blessed on a wire dressed as a Birdman making laser sounds. That's just too good. What a legend. Okay, let's start with It's like, have you had this, he punched was it a polar bear? An ordinary bear, I can't remember. He punched a bear. He woke up and there was a bear in his tent, this bear's head. So he shouted and punched it. Only Brian Blessed would get away with that, wouldn't he? Oh dear. The rest of us would have been torn to shreds. Okay. I've just got a picture of a very surprised looking. I just like seeing him in movies. To be honest, he can play with whoever he wants. Even if it's a really bad choice for casting, it's still going to be hilarious. Okay, I'm going to use deep blue. Am I going to use deep blue? I can, when I go for dark blue, these two blues, I can never decide whether I like dark blue or dark sky. And so I always end up putting a patch of both out and then deciding as I go along, which is all right. I think his is like a darker blue I like, so where the others are going to be on a light blue base. I think the first episode of Blackadder, when he's in the Peter Cook's in it, and him and Peter Cook just bounce off each other like crazy. What a dream cast for a first episode of a. Yeah, this blue, the dark sky is a bit thinner, and when you thin it down with the medium, it's got a better transparency than the other blue. So you can really. Start to lay it in there. I think where it's a bit transparent as well, you put the blue wash over it, it does help in the shadows a bit. I think the other blue's got a bit of, I don't know. Rick Mail, did he do anything with Brian Blessed? I don't think so. I mean, Rick Mail was in Blackadder, but I don't think Brian Blessed was only in the first series, when Rick Mail didn't do it until he'd done Lord Flashheart, did he? So next, I'm going to do the other blues, but they go up to more of a sky blue colour. So I'll probably use, yeah, let's use maybe crystal blue or Viking blue. Let's go with Viking blue first. Now, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think of some of the films that Rick Mel was in. I'm pretty sure. This is the other thing. I was Viking blue and crystal blue. Always put together. I think the Viking blue is darker. So we go with Viking blue to start with. And I think his whole tabard is, yes, blue, white, yellow, fleur-de-lis. A little bit of wet blend. Yes, use that blue. A bit thick, so we'll water it down with a bit of medium. There we go, water it down on the mini. You're never going to get very translucent because there's a lot of white in that blue. It's thinning down now nicely with the. So I'm just putting medium on the brush and just let it. Just thinning the paint that's on the miniature. If that makes sense. So I'm just getting some of the white showing through, so that's just about right. Yeah, I can't think of any that they were in together. I mean, Rick Mel done a lot of with the same people. I mean, they like to work with the same people, didn't they? So with all the comic strip present stuff. Robbie Coltrane he worked with. He was in the comic strip as well, wasn't he? Yeah. It would have been interesting, wouldn't it? Do you know what? I another one that just come into my mind was Tom Baker in, is it Blackadder the Third? He plays the pirate ship captain, doesn't he? With no legs. I wager, my lord, that ass has never been shoved between the planks of a sinking ship. And I think Tom Baker's doing a Brian Blessed impression in that one. I have a woman's legs, my lord. I wager those legs. But yeah, he's definitely doing. I think he's doing a Brian Blessed impression there, isn't he? Really? We've run out of water, my lord. It's time to drink our own water. The captain's been on it since we left port. See how that blue's filmed down real nice. There we go. Yeah, I just noticed we were looking around for stuff to watch. We like watching. I tell you what, we just started watching was some of the very early Doctor Who's I'd not seen. Changing to subject from Tom Baker, and I'd not really seen. Well, I couldn't remember much before Tom Baker, if you know what I mean. So I noticed that the BBC iPlayer yeah, good work, Rich. Yeah, we got so fed up with new series being all rubbishly and wokey crap. So sorry about the controversy there. But so we went back to good old 1960s, 70s BBC Doctor Who. And I've always said Tom Baker's my favourite Doctor, but I hadn't watched Patrick Troughton. What an amazing guy. Oh, and a lot of things that's probably why I like it so much, because a lot of it is the stuff that Tom Baker does there. And I didn't know, you know. I mean, Pertwee is good. I'm watching the Three Doctors episode at the moment. I'm on just finished the second one. So you got William Hartnell floating around in space as well. So, but yeah. Then I'm going to go back and watch all the black and white ones, I think, because it's better than what's on telly now. Of course, I'll stop watching it before I get to the very latest Doctor, which is just a load of tosh. But yeah, I think that's it. Enough said on that subject. Let's face facts. You gonna watch something new, or do you want to go and rewatch Blackadder? I don't know. I've watched a documentary about Blackadder, and it nearly got cancelled after the first series, didn't it? Because they were sort of saying this first series was so bad. And you think, hang on a minute, it was really good. And then when you rewatch it, you get what they mean. As a series, I mean, it's brilliant and I love it. But if you compare it to the other series, the main characters have all changed. I think in the first series, Blackadder is almost as stupid as Baldrick. I mean, I know he's stupid, but yeah, you get it. Rewatch it, you'll see what I mean. It's as though they sorted out the format for the second series. Although first series, I've always said to people, is my favourite series. Just I think because Brian Blessed and the characters are so good in it. Yeah, they if you watch there's a big documentary on it, and they it nearly got cancelled, and they changed pretty much everything. Um, which is fair, I suppose. So yeah, we're in on this blue again, nice and thin. But again, we're going over white this time. Remember, we put the white down. So you are going to get a slightly lighter finish here, and the white will show through a bit more. Where we're very thin. Can you see? Look at that free shading that's happening there, John Lukey. We like that, don't we? We like getting a bit of free shading. So keep those paints nice and thin. I must say, I'm finding these very enjoyable to paint, especially when I'm not rushing to finish them. I mean, as I said at the start, we're not our usual get these on the table as quick as we can. I'm trying to lay a nice base down to do some freehanding. But we're going to want that nice and dried up, so you'll probably find we do the freehanding tomorrow. Which isn't too bad. Remember, these are going to be your centerpiece characters for your army. So what we got on the table tomorrow, Karen? I did jump in quickly just before I jumped onto the pitch last week, and I saw you just died, but I didn't have a chance to say hello. So he's got a yellow edging on there, so we can put a white round that again. The other half's white, so let's go back and have a look at our blues again. Let's see if we're going to need another layer. Nope, not another layer on that one. No, I'm not going to strengthen that up. I don't want complete coverage on them because I want to be able to use the highlights. Yes, it's. I knew you'd find that one, mate. That's a cracking line. I couldn't remember it. He's got no legs, isn't he? And he's in a little rowing boat thing, like a miniature ship. Why? There's only one captain crazy enough to try and go around the Cape of Good Hope. What is it called? It's brilliant. I think you put just a little more blue on that one. Whereas over the white, it's just a little bit patchy. There we go. I'm not even bothering to cover it all. I'm just hitting. So we're still going to have some light areas. Yes. So we're doing this painting channel. We talk about what we talked about so far. Blackadder. Brian Blessed. Yeah, good. Good. I like good. I hope it's making your guys' painting go quicker. I I'm not responsible for anything, mate. I'm a pirate. Come on. I'm a grown man who masquerades as a pirate. Surely you can't I can't be held responsible for anything. I would have thought so. Well, he did a lot of outdoor stuff, didn't he? It's like he climbed bits of Everest and stuff like that, and which hence him punching bears in the head and stuff. There's pretty much nothing he got. Oh, he got started getting older, didn't he? And he was going crazier and crazier and crazier challenges. Right, we're going to go bright gold now. I'm going to highlight some of our gold out because that flesh wash is dried nicely. That. So let's do this under there so we can. So I'm just going to make sure we ain't got too much on our brush. Just hit the bits where the light's going to catch the most. Yeah, yes. I don't think he does age. Not in the sense that we understand it. I think, like a lot of people, when he got to retirement age, he decided he'd write his bucket list and away he went. I think. He got all Bear Grylls, didn't he? I suppose when you got a beard like he has, really, mountaineering is just something you have to do. Um, I'm not sure of the science behind that. it seemed it seemed to work for him. Uh, I guess when you're Brian Blessed, you kind of do what you like anyway. Because who's going to stop you? No, I don't think I'm going to age this year. Okay, you crack on, Brian. Yeah, just highlight this out. Then what I've been doing a lot lately, I've been hitting them all over with a matte lacquer. Then I've been going back over with a brush after they're dry with a bit of gloss lacquer just to pick the shiny bits back out. Which works quite nicely. I think sometimes the matte lacquers just kill the vibrancy in some of the, especially the metallic paint, but also when you do a lot of blends. And sometimes you spend a lot of time, especially on I found on flesh, if you're doing a lot of blending on flesh, sometimes you hit it with matte lacquer and just boom, all your blends go. So that's why I swapped from the very ultra matte ones to kind of just an ordinary matte, if you know what I mean. If that makes sense, hopefully. See where we're going over the top, and these are clean up bits as we go around. Another thing, Ben, if we admit that Brian Bless is getting old, we have to admit we are too. So I'm going for a strong dose of denial there. I'm going to deny I can deny getting old, and I'm going to carry on playing with my toy soldiers. Yeah, relative terms, in historian ways, none of us are very old, are we, really? That's the gold done. So next, we might as well highlight the silver out. So we're going to go for some shining silver. I've started a few new paints and I've been lazy about shaking them up. I've done some shaking, so they are working, but as I said before, to get the best out of the army paint stuff, you have to really, really go to town with the shaking. I'm not sure about the new stuff because I've not obviously seen the videos as you guys probably have. Now, somebody wants to give Army Painter a nudge and get them to send me some to trial. That'd be great. They do look interesting from the videos. What interests me is not so because they've obviously shown what great coverage they've got. I don't doubt that because these ones at the moment cover well. But what does kind of interest me is what are they going to be like thin down? Because the paint thinning is probably, to me, more important than the coverage, if you know what I mean. You think that blue I've just put on, the lighter one, where I was thinning it out to show the white through, if I've got too good a coverage, I won't be able to do that. I'm sure they've thought that. Say that's shining on. If you see this calf there where we put the silver on, it's hard to tell the effect under the lamp there, but we're getting a pretty groovy finish. Even though I've made it really a little bit over the top shiny, we're going to lose some of this when we lacquer, so they won't be quite so Hollywood once we've done it. And to be honest, I don't mind that look sometimes, especially if they're sort of personality miniatures. Wash that silver off. I noticed this dagger scabbard are not done, so I'm just going to lay some base red in there to start it drying. That's another good reason we've got a wet palette. I'll wash it out and jump back to my silver. Just doing some good old kind of edge highlighting. Yeah, just on top of his foot there. Don't go right across, just do a little bit of it. Think where your lamp's shining on the miniature, that's where we're going to put some highlights. Use this silver just to start tapping out those things. I'm not too worried if we get a little bit on the red, because I'm gonna That's the base red anyway. The next red is gonna all be inside that. Okay. And then so we're coming up to 2¼ hours. So we're not painting at the speed we usually paint. We're taking a bit extra time over, giving these a bit of a more of a zhuzh. I think that's the word. Well, that's the word we're going to use at the moment. As you can see, the well, I don't think you can see on this light, but take my word for it. We've done a bit more work than we usually do at that level, because we want to give our, if we're going to go to the trouble of doing all the freehand, we want the underneath to be as good as our freehand, don't we? So you don't want the basic paint job letting it down. So I always take a little bit of extra time when I know that I'm trying to usually we paint for, I suppose, tabletop, what we call tabletop standard, I suppose. I don't know. I always struggle when talk about quality. It's the eye of the beholder, and other people can decide what my paint jobs are, but it's, if I'm painting them to get them ready for a game, I paint to one standard, that, you know, a reasonably quick standard that the miniatures are going to look good on the tabletop. These ones, I'm going for that next step up, I suppose. So I want maybe use them as a tabletop, but then being personalities, they have to be kind of that little bit better. So you take a bit longer on them. That's what we're doing a little few extra touches. Bringing it together. Here's Carrie. Did I miss your comment? Did you what you painting tomorrow? Okay. What we on? As I say, I did jump onto your channel last week before I jumped onto the pitch. Have I missed your comment? Are you in at the normal time tomorrow? Plug away, Karen. So if you're watching this video back and you've not yet subscribed to me, that'd be great if you could. And jump on to Kits with Karen as well. She's live tomorrow, I believe, if the storm hasn't blown her away. So 10:30 a.m. Channel is Kits with Karen. You can listen to the soothing dulcet tones of Karen over the top of her lovely, lovely, lovely clocks going tick tock, which I found incredibly soothing. But unfortunately, at 11 o'clock, I'll be hitting. Oh wow! Yeah, I'll be hitting the pitch in Bath at 11 o'clock, so I'm going to be travelling at that time, Karen. So I'll try and watch back later while I do a bit of painting or something. Tick tock, tick tock. Yeah, so we've got quite a good base going on here. Let's have a look at. We've shined the armour up. We've got the base colours on. So we start building some layers on those. Let's let them. See, I've kept it quite flat. Remember, I've got a lot of yeah, we've got a lot of heraldry to paint on them yet, so I need that nice flat look to them. I mean, he's going to be white, blue, yellow trim, and red. His red double-headed eagles on his coat of arms. So yeah. So later in the day, tomorrow I'll probably jump on again and do some. Hopefully, they're ready for some freehand, which is always a favourite. So I'd like to. The temptation was to start these earlier on in today, so I could do the freehanding on this live, but it's nice to see him do the whole journey, isn't it? I think. So we're just doing the base colour of our wood. I was just going to call it Bestial Brown, but that's an old GW paint, I think. Basilisk Brown. It's close. Again, this brown works quite well. Seems to cover better when you thin it. It's weird that, and it sometimes you get paints like that. These. So I think very soon I'm gonna Yarg. So it's not. That's what I was saying in the previous videos, Karen. That I like to leave the paint jobs open ended. You'll know what I mean. So the style I usually use is you can stop there and it still looks good. But if you want to carry on, you can do this, this, and this. And I think that's what I used to find trouble with is knowing when to carry on and when to stop. I think that's quite a hard one to rationalize sometimes. I suppose it's quite different if you're doing diorama or display stuff. So you want to push that extra little bit harder, but when you're painting for gaming, to be honest, if they were all painted one colour, they're painted. So I think that's quite a tricky one to. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a toughie, that, isn't it? Yeah, it's good, John. I mean, I think it's quite a tough ask. So that blue obviously is not going to cover with this yellow, but I'm starting just to lay some yellow down so I can layer it up tomorrow. So I'm not trying to get it to cover in one go. Yeah, it's quite a good coat of arms, this one. It's the yellow quarters. I've got to have a blue dauphin, and then the blue sections have white diagonal stripes, and then there's a red thing going across as well, which I can't remember what colour it is in heraldry. But there's lots going on in this shield, so I'll start laying down layers as I pass now to get a nice smooth finish on it. Who's got some yellow? He's got some yellow edging, but we won't put that on yet. And he's got yellow edging as well, which we won't. Well, this is yellow, which we won't lay down yet because we're still playing with the blue. Bleu. Ah, nice. I did find my family crest is very piratey, believe it or not. In reality, I think the one we found was black with a white skull on it, which is almost like a skull and crossbones. It's a bit strange. I love painting detail like shields and coats of arms and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to. That was why I was tempted earlier to get these started, so I could do it tonight. But unfortunately, I think it was better to do it this way. But what I'll do now is I'll show you some of the these marvellous old cowboys I've been painting. When we've been playing Dead Man's Hand. Yeah, look at these. They're good, aren't they? They're perfect for our games. I love the fact that they put nice bullet holes in the front and the back. Sorry for randomly showing you guys. That's just I kind of like them. Not that. Let's pick. I know what's the. I picked all these up at a convention. They were old ones, and they're on hex bases. So I've great miniatures, aren't they? For and these are the ladies of easy virtue. Well, it's not picking her face up anymore. So I kind of got into doing the. They were good fun to paint. I've had fun this week. The whole game is Dead Man's Hand's very cartoony, so I've gone for a cartoony look. Found the cavalry guys, obviously dismounted, and we found General Custer, which is great. It's a great mini in it. And he's got all his pals and three amigos, and there's all sorts of going on over there. Anyway, I won't get any more cowboys on the camera. Right, I just wanted to do a little bit more over to, because that's 2.5 hours we spent on these. Let's paint their eyes in, shall we? It's always good painting their eyes in. It's a bit of white on our Psycho brush. There we go. One eyeball. The sculptor's given us some teeth to paint as well, so let's paint those. There we go. You can't quite. Oh, there you can see the teeth. There we go. So painting eyeballs again, guys. We've not done that for a while. Hand against the bench. Other hand, so we lock them against our sides. Fingers onto the base there, and lock everything off. There's only that bit of our hand that can move. There we go. And just a little paint. Make sure your brush is reloaded each time. Check on the edge there, there's not too much paint in it. There we go. And this is exactly how you set up to paint your free hand as well. It's going to be a bit more challenging. It's underneath the helmet there. But he's got his visor up, so he better paint his eyeballs. There we go. Tricky to chat at the same time, in fairness. So don't try talking while you're practicing. Okay, so again, just lay it in there. So you don't have to use tiny brush like I do. You can use a bigger brush, any brush that's got a good point really. But I like the small brush because you can't overload the paint. That's the only real reason I use it. So if you've got your nice consistent paint, so it's a little bit watered down, but not majorly watered down. You load these little brushes up, take some of it out. You've still got enough to do. A little dot. Let's have a look. See if you can see one. There we go. We can reshape the eye a little bit when we do the highlights on the. So we've not highlighted the flesh yet. So when you're doing the eyeballs, okay. Don't try to go dead center, because I know I've said this before. If you go dead center, if you get one wrong, you've got the boss-eyed looking. So if you go just off center and then just, so that one's you've gone just to my left. So when I do this one, I know I've got to go just left of center. If you go one dead center and one left of center, it looks like it's got a lazy eye. If you go the other way, they got boss eyes and all sorts. So if you start with one off center, then you can kind of match that. There we go. And can we get him? There we go. So the eyeball's done. Make sure your little brush is washed right out. Put the cap back on it. Always keep the cap on it. Save that point. So that's Vallejo black, I think, with lots of the medium in it. It's nice and runny. Okay, so next, it looks like I'm going on for a little bit longer. We're going to put some pure red on our palette. Now, if you really want to get technical, you can mix that with the that base color we used, Abomination Gore, but I'm not going to go that crazy. That's the next level. I'm just going to go straight for that as a blend. So I'm going to water that down so I know it's nice and thin, not too much on my brush. And I'm going to start picking out on top of those creases, but where the red is quite thin at the moment, it's not going to go stupidly bright the first time. We're going to have to do a couple of passes. Yes, everyone listen to Karen about how to look after brushes. Don't listen to me about how to look after brushes, because I kill brushes. That's why I use cheap rubbish brushes. And Karen, if you tune in tomorrow, will tell you how to look after nice brushes. I don't deserve nice things to play with. and I use these cheap. These are this black one's are like a cheap synthetic 60p brush. Sorry, Karen, I know you've just screwed up your face. uh, and I use a lot of the army paint ones because I go the opposite way to Karen. I get fed up with being let down by decent brushes. Yeah, I've used Winsor & Newton. I've used another one which I won't mention the name of. I do use that Klinsky ones, but these cheap ones generally I get 2 or 3 paint jobs out of them. Then they go to the local school for the kids to use for paint, for painting and putting glue on with. So that's cool. I got really fed up with. I had a really nice. Somebody give me a Winsor & Newton, and I really loved it. And I wore it down till there was about 3 hairs left on it, which was I was loving doing the freehand work with such a tiny thin brush, and you could more or less use it like a sign writer's brush. You could really whip it round. And in the end, I had to give up and buy a new one. And I ordered another Winsor & Newton number 7. Is it number 7? Yeah. And it was a piece of garbage. It really was, and they're not cheap. Decent brushes aren't cheap. And yeah, I threw it in the bin. It annoyed me so much that then I bought another one which was nice, but didn't last as long. Then I bought another one that was rubbish, and that was it. That was when I was finished, because there was no I didn't find there was any consistency, which after seeing the time and trouble they seem to go to at the I watched a documentary on it, and I thought, well, this documentary is not matching up to what my experience was. So then that's when I started using the army paint ones, because I accept, and I totally agree with you, Karen, they're not as good as a brush, as a sable brush. But I think for the price point, they're a good brush. And the thing I like about them is that you get consistency out of them. Like these little the ones I'm using at the moment, they're consistently rubbish. These ones. um, yeah, I kind of agree with that most times. But after having 2 out of the 4 bad brushes, I wasn't prepared to carry on paying that price to get rubbish brushes. Now, in defense of Winsor & Newton, one of the bad ones I bought online through, I think it was eBay, I think, and I wondered if they were a fake brush because it was that bad. It wasn't much cheaper than the other ones. It just was bad. It was that bad. I thought, is this a fake? Yeah, I was. I wanted hassle-free brush. You know what I mean? I wanted to. If I wanted a new one, I wanted to order. I wanted to order 6 of them, so I always had one here. You know what I mean? So now I'm doing. Yeah, I say I have bought them from decent shops and that before, but I think the particular one I've got in mind, the particular bad one, I bought it just on eBay, and I'm still to this day not convinced it was not a fake. I don't know how viable the market is to sell fake brushes. I don't know. I suppose if you sell enough of them, it's pretty easy to fake a brush, isn't it? So now what I'm just doing at the moment is working around with this red, just building up the strength of the highlights. So each time I pass, I go a little bit tighter and smaller, and just leaving the recesses, as you can see. Yeah, unfortunately, I found they weren't, and I wasn't. Maybe one day I'll have another blast at them. What should about that? That's what I'm using. Class. See all the other brushes around her. Army paint ones, I think. I'm just going to run that red. You can see it's just starting to build up a nice. Mm. I just want to now start catching those real. See, it's that texture starting to build up now. That. There we go. Just another pass of the red. You see on this scaffold there, that's pretty much pure red down the edge and that tip. So just going right to the edge now. So the next thing to do is use the Mars red, which has got a lot of orange in it. But that will only go on the highest of our highlights. So if we look at there, we've already put a lot of red in there, so we're just going to go right on the very edge of these highest creases and down the edge of the material there. There we go. I guess and just sketch out a bit. Look, you see the red's fading in and out. There we go. So that's where we stopped at 2 hours a little while ago. This is the next bit we're on now, which we don't usually get onto the video. So now we're getting right to the edges of everything, just the highest highlights. So you see around all the rivets, it's still very dark, because obviously that's just going to get a bit of a shadow. Thin that red out as well, so it's going to show some of the darker red through. Look, can you see that on there? I think so. Okay, I think we'll have a quick look at these and then we'll call it a night, because I've got to go and play hockey tomorrow and kick some people in the head and stuff. That sounds terrible. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to. Okay, so let's have a look at these under the light. So what we got so far. So this is 2 hours 50 minutes, and then almost ready. That's got to have like a. I've got to build the blue up a bit on it. Build the red up a little bit more. All the metal's finished. I say he needs, that's just the base of the blue, so that we're going to build the blue up, but the red's nearly finished, all the silver's finished, and obviously the face is going to highlight the flesh again yet. So what I do is, so people can see this, tomorrow night I shall leave these. Maybe I'll finish the bases off and do the some more of the base layers, and then I'll jump on tomorrow night and do the freehand tomorrow night. So if you're watching this, all right, these miniatures are front rank miniatures from Griffin Beast. So they bought Griffin Beast bought front rank out, is it 2 years ago now? Maybe a year. Between a year and 2 years ago, the people that were running front rank retired, and Griffin Beast bought them, and they're more, so it didn't die really. Yes, they're metal miniatures. If you go on the Griffin Beast website, that's the code for these ones, MPK12. They're the Agincourt personalities, And right at the start of this video, Karen, I tried to pronounce them in Francais, which was probably quite amusing. So yeah, feel free to, when this uploaded, just to watch the first 2 or 3 minutes for me making a fool of myself. But yeah, so I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to join Karen in the morning at 10:30 sharp. Don't be late. If you're about tomorrow evening, I shall jump on, hopefully. I probably won't put a post up. I'll probably just jump on. So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed and hit the notification bell, that's always good. Then you'll be informed when I go online, and you can decide to ignore me or watch me, whichever you fancy. Okay, well, thank you guys for keeping me amused. I hope you enjoyed the conversation about Blackadder, etc., etc. I hope you enjoyed the painting. Yeah, watch your space, because there's going to be some exciting stuff happening. And hopefully see you tomorrow. Have a good one in the morning, Karen. And I'll see you all again soon. Cheers then, shipmates, and stay safe. Have fun. Cheers then.